Around the age of 10, my brother actually allowed me to hang around him and his friends. And he had this one friend who really stood out. He was very flashy, and at a young age, he was the only person who actually had a job, which meant something. I'd say by the time I was 16, he kind of took a different notice to me. I wasn't just my brother's little sister anymore. I had grown up some. We had our first date, and it went well. He was like the perfect gentleman. Open doors, pull out chairs, dressed very nice. Within 3 weeks, he actually told me that he loved me. He just told me all the things that he can offer me. And at 16, it just sounds so appealing. Within time, I noticed that he started becoming a little possessive, and slowly but surely he started telling me who I could hang out with and who I couldn't hang out with. I will never forget this one particular incident where one of my male friends called. He asked me who was I talking to. I was like, oh, it's so-and-so, you know who he is. And I continue on with my conversation on the phone. He grabs the phone from me and he hangs it up. And he says, why are you on the phone with another guy and I'm here? And he started yelling at me, calling me a whore, and accusing me of cheating on him. We got into a full-blown argument over that. So for the sake of not arguing, I ended up cutting that friend off. And then after him, slowly but surely, a lot of my male friends. He started doing little things like shoving me, little mushes in the head during arguments. And because he did it so frequently, it became a normal act for me that I didn't see anything wrong with it. That soon became a harder shove to where I might get shoved into the wall. Then he started really playing with my emotions and manipulating me. And I realize now that that was manipulation. When I started feeling like this is getting too tough, I did say, you know what, maybe we need some space. I can't deal with this. Your jealousy, you're being too possessive. And he calls me and he says, I can't live without you. If you leave, I'm going to kill myself. And to be like 19 and to hear that, I'm like, you're going to kill yourself? What do you mean? I can't live without you. You're telling me that you don't want to be with me. I can't do it. And he hangs up the phone. And I began to call his phone back, and he refused to answer. He didn't answer the phone. So now I'm thinking, like, oh my God, what did he just do? Is he really serious? I didn't know what to think. And just hearing that, it was like, oh my God, he really does love me. And it made me forgive him and say, okay, let's work this out. Shortly after I had our daughter, that's when, again, the physical started. Again, with the arguments, I would get more of the shoving and the pushing. And I think because I've never done anything about it, it's the only reason why it got worse. I went to go get a pizza. My ex-boyfriend called me. I told him where I was. And he said, oh, well, could you pick me up one too or just drop it off at my house? I said, I guess I can do that, sure. Why not? It's not like, my boyfriend will know about it. Just drop it off really quick and come upstairs. So I did that. And as I'm coming upstairs, my boyfriend's standing in front of my door, and he's like, what took you so long? I said, what do you mean what took me so long? I told you I was going to get a pizza. You left about an hour ago. And he keeps asking me, where were you? Where were you? I was so nervous that as opposed to me saying Greg's house, which is my ex-boyfriend's name, I wound up calling him Greg. I just said Greg, and I looked at him, and he said, what did you call me? So that's where you were? He slaps me in my face. And me just being in shock, I stood there because that was the first time he actually smacked me like that. A mush and a smack is totally different. And our daughter is there, and I must say, every time we've had an argument, or a physical fight, she was right there, saw everything. So with the smack, I took that. But then he kept going. He pushed me down. I got back up. And I said, you have to go. Now you're getting out of control. He's going off, and then he just starts swinging at me. And I look over at our daughter. I see her. And I don't like this whole scene that we're putting on right now in front of her. So with efforts of trying to get him out, I'm trying to push him towards the door. Please, just leave, leave. He gets me down. I remember like constantly him pushing me down. I hit the floor so many times that I had a bruise like this size on my back. He got me in a position where he actually tried to choke me. And I just remember like my cell phone being on the coffee table and me trying to reach for my phone, because at that point it hit me like, okay, I need to call the police or something. He loosens up his grip to try and grab the phone to keep me from getting it. And he gets the phone, he puts it in his pocket. So that actually enabled me to get up and run to my bedroom, which was where the house phone was. Now we're scrambling for the house phone, and as we're doing that, he's getting his little hits in, like either he's shoving me down or like slapping me, and he punched me several times in the arm. I'll never forget that because my arm was so sore and I had so many bruises on my arm. He pulls me by my legs as I'm trying to get the phone, and he turns me over and he begins trying to choke me again. We're scuffling and tussling, and I managed to get up. So I was able to run out of the house, and I went down to my ex-boyfriend's house to call the police. But once I got there, again, this stupid feeling of he's my daughter's father, I still love him, I can't call the police. Maybe 4 months after that incident, it was like I just woke up. After being blind for some years, it was like I just said, you know, I really don't need this.